Hello beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. In today's video, we are walking the path of enlightenment with the Lotus. But before we begin, I'm lighting some sage and some Palo Santo because I have been feeling a lot of intense energy as of late, and we need to talk about it since it's walking the path of enlightenment. Also, since for a while I have been channeling things a little bit more in advance. So this channeling is a little bit closer to the time it will be released. And so what I'm feeling energetically in this moment is relevant, and this channeling has been postponed by a few months actually. The time that it needed to come out was the same, but the day I was channeling it has been postponed and postponed and postponed. And now we are like 3 weeks, I'm channeling it about 3 weeks before it comes out, and the energy is feeling a lot. There's a lot going on. I need to talk about it, especially when walking the path of enlightenment. First and foremost, the crystals that came forth for walking the path of enlightenment with the Lotus are clear quartz, shungite, labradorite, the camera is not focusing, labradorite, you can see it, amethyst, obsidian, and citrine. And amethyst and citrine being for enlightenment and ascension makes sense because they are at different phases of the ascension journey. And if you want to learn a little bit more about that, I will link to the end of this video the journey from citrine to amethyst, a little bit of the ascension journey in that sense with crystals. So you can check that out because they are very powerful. It's a very powerful crystal bridge that can help. Now, energetically, what I'm feeling is a little bit of a lack of hope in the path of enlightenment. There is a bit of a standstill, and there's a lot of things being revealed. And, ooh, the future and the maternal healing is so strong. The feelings of feeling hopelessness for the future, of feeling like we are stagnant, we're not moving forward into the future, and a lot of things being revealed so we can heal our maternal lineage. The paternal, still there, but definitely heavy in the maternal. Heavy in the maternal. And this is being mirrored in nature because the source of the divine maternal nature is angelic Mother Gaia, who is the guardian angel of the earth. And the earth communicates to us on behalf of her. The same way like the clouds and like the sky and things, you know, above in the air elements kind of communicate more for the divine paternal aspect. The land and the sea communicates more to us from the divine maternal aspect. And there has been a lot going on in nature, a lot of things changing in nature, a lot of nature taking on a lot of pain physically. They are enduring, specifically the aquatic realm has been enduring a lot of pain and a lot of changes. The aquatic realm resonates just 0.5 dimensional frequency above the earthly realm at all times. It is our path of enlightenment guiding compass. It helps elevate the earth and helps us when we need cleansing and enlightenment. And that's why going to the sea can be or to the ocean can be very relieving for us, relieving for stress, and boosts our mood, boosts our energy, because it has more higher frequency energy there. And marine life has been taking a huge hit. Not just this year, in general, and like the last decade, 2 decades has been taking a very huge hit and physically enduring a lot of pain, which reflects what we are going through as humanity, because they are healing beings and they are taking on a lot of our pain, and we also end up causing a lot of harm to them as human beings, which they're suffering, then we feel their suffering as well, and we don't know what's going on. What's going on a lot right now that is actually making us feel kind of hopeless when it comes to the path of enlightenment and feeling stagnancy is we are feeling within our bodies the pain that other human beings are causing to the earth and to animals, and specifically to marine life. We are feeling it within us. We are empathically picking up that pain, and we are feeling regret. There's like a big energy of regret and recklessness. The term reckless, how could you be so reckless? Just heavily around. When I'm trying to sit down and channel, that is all I can feel. And there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of anger. And this is all coming from our divine maternal nature. So if you've been feeling anything going on with the left side of your body, and me, I have, the left side of your body is your divine maternal side, your divine feminine in the future. I've been feeling it. I'm not there, like I've been getting only bruises on my left side. I've been feeling only pain on my left side. And it wasn't till I had this like click moment, suddenly all the pain like disappeared, when I realized exactly what my body was trying to tell me. And there is so much going on in like our minds and our mental bodies right now, of this hopelessness, of seeing also the way humans treat each other. And the way humans treat each other is in our divine paternal nature, a little bit more than the divine maternal nature, but it's still there. And there's also feeling that pain as well. So like your right side, it's always, it always starts on the right and shifts to the left. When I see the energy of like the feeling of the pain, but it's more heavily on our nurturing side, on our compassionate side, on our caring side, on our maternal nature as human beings, but also that protectiveness, that supportiveness, that drive to make change has, which is our paternal nature within us, has turned into anger, and there is a lot of unresolved anger, and that can prevent the path of enlightenment. So for me, when I channel, I have to experience things by the time the channeling reaches the public. I have to experience things related to the channeling due to the frequency of truth. So anything that is coming out of my mouth, even if it's like a download or whatever it is, I have to go through that experience of whatever teaching is being taught. Either I have learned it or I am going to be learning it and acting on it right after the message moves through me. That is explained a little bit more in my Awakening the Channeler Within book, which is linked in the description below, kind of why that is, if you want to check that out, my latest book. But there is so much heavy hesitance because there has been so much stagnancy and moving forward when it comes to the path of enlightenment. And so the lotus flower is a very interesting flower, and also when I prepare to channel, I typically, if I'm channeling earth elementals, I do more enlightening things so that I'm grounded, or if I'm channeling cosmic elementals, I will do more like grounding things so that I can elevate, and so there's balance. What's very interesting with the lotus flower is my preparation, my intuitive preparation for doing the channeling with the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the lotus flower is more what I would do if I'm channeling a cosmic elemental. So that to me is very interesting because that is not like at all the case when I do other channelings. There's also a lot of judgment preventing the path of enlightenment, blocking the throat, because as I'm talking about it, I feel it. Silencing of the voice, judgment. In the last few months, I've lost my voice a lot, and that is not common for me. Not common, but I have gone through it a lot, so just like feeling the loss of voice. And it's always around a time where I do a channeling about something that is us taking steps forward to get rid of this fear of judgment. The path of enlightenment is different for everyone, and you may be judged, especially by society and religious fanatics, of the way the path of enlightenment finds you, and it's different for everyone. And it's not magical. What I mean by that, before I move into the channeling, saying it as a human being, not as, channeling the beings of inspiration and letting them speak. I think as a human being, in my consciousness, I need to say it. There are a lot of people who have reached different levels in their ascension journey and their path of enlightenment. The path of enlightenment is not something we are going to achieve in a month, in a year. It is just a path, and how can we be walking on it? there are some spiritual teachers or gurus or whoever who have claims that they have achieved it and they are still acting very earthly or very judgmental, or they have not taken those steps of particularly overcoming the 7 deadly concepts, which is huge. To overcome greed and gluttony and pride and sloth and jealousy and wrath and lust and judgment. Should be 8 and judgment. It has come to my attention through my journey and ascension and trying to walk the path of enlightenment that people who make bold claims that they have achieved things, after a certain time of watching them and watching their teachings, not all of them, just a few, that there is a judgment there about people not reaching a certain level or not being at their level. The path of enlightenment is not judgment. It's one path. We are all at different phases of it. We're all on different journeys. Our souls are all experiencing different things. And what's beautiful about the path of enlightenment and the ascension journey is what we are going through while we're on the path of enlightenment. What's beautiful about it is that while it's different for everyone, we're all kind of at the same level. Because it's so different for us, no one is better than the other. And the key is seeing that oneness of like, we are on the same path. And I'm sharing my gift and I'm sharing my messages and you're sharing your gift and you're sharing yours. I try my best to never judge someone else's enlightenment journey because we are all at the same level, just doing different things. We're all at the same level of the path of enlightenment. We're just on different ascension journeys within it. And so we should not be judging people for where they're at all. And honestly, I need to talk about it because this is the first channeling I'm recording after doing the live Lionsgate. So lots of other videos have come out by the time that this video comes out, because I believe this video is coming out on 9/9. So that's why I'm not doing a live channeling on 9/9, because this is needed on 9/9/9, because it's literally 9/9/9 portal, so this video is definitely needed for that time. There was some issues with the comments, and there were some people being a little bit judgmental and trying to force their will and their beliefs upon other people. Also some like phishing things, of course, because it was live and people hopping in and out. I did not go live in the way that I had planned to, so my live got pushed to different audiences. And there were some, like, I came back and there was just some disagreements going on, and I'm just gonna say it, everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, but if your belief causes you to be hateful towards somebody because they are not following what you deem is correct, in regards to Jesus, God, spirituality, the soul, you are forcing your will upon somebody that is not coming from source. Anything coming from source will not be forcing its will upon somebody. And the path of enlightenment is that acceptance of everyone where they're at. And knowing that we as a collective, enlightenment is not a one-person journey. Ascension is. Enlightenment is a collective journey, when we collectively achieve enlightenment together. Ascension is our individual part of that story. So I need to say that as a human, as talking with my clairaudiency, and say that and have that out there, because sometimes clairaudient messages come through a little bit stronger. Now I'm going to have an Earthian Elfian Elemental come through that works with the Lotus, to talk a little bit about the Lotus, how the Lotus flower can help us in the path of enlightenment and give us more insight, because the biggest thing I personally would love an explanation on is, why does it seem like the test we are going through, like, okay, I know we're going through a test of free will until October, I know that, but why does it seem like the test we are going through is less about will but more about judgment and like hate and overcoming that, and just like the controlling nature And lately, for me personally, I will share, I have started to have a very, very low tolerance for disrespectful behavior towards people, controlling behavior, like seeing people around me, even if I'm not super close with them, like my paternal nature, like my right side is like pulsing right now as I'm talking about it. It's really, really bothering me how this is becoming such a big thing right now that it's almost uncontrollable. How there is a lot of blatant disrespect for time and energy and no respect of boundaries, because we live in such a more of a cushy reality where a lot of things are at our fingertips, and that kind of is resulting in it becoming easier to kind of be in situations where there is a lack of respect for time and energy and boundaries. I have noticed this pattern. So how is that related to the Path of Enlightenment? Because I know I'm not the only one who's noticing this pattern, and since we're all on this together, like, what, for our souls, is this like a collective test for our souls? Like, what are we still dealing with? So I'm asking the beings of inspiration that work with the earth and the lotus flower, I'm asking them, what are we still carrying from the fall of the previous golden earth that we are still dealing with as human beings that are affecting our collective enlightenment? That is what I really want to know, because I have my theories, and my theory is definitely that there is like judgment, control, free will, and free will has been confirmed as being one of the things for sure that we are dealing with. But there seems to be so much more that we are still dealing with. Like, are we even close? Let me know, are we even close to achieving that? Because right now, I'm feeling that like collective hopelessness, but I'm just like even noticing it. It feels like we're struggling a little bit. Are we even close? So we are surrounded by divine light and love. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. Repeat it after me. We are doing this protection now. All the archangels are watching over us. Our guardian angels are surrounding us in their wings. They are keeping us safe and protected in an invincible tube of divine light and love. We only allow messages for the highest good of the collective all, from a place of divine light and love, from Creator, Source, God, Angelic Mother, Gaia, all higher beings, the Elfian Realm that I am channeling today to come through for our highest good, for the betterment of our ascension. What we need to know, not what we want to hear, what we need to know. What is going to help us? No sugarcoating, no metaphors. Tell us directly. Tell us bluntly, if you must, what we need to know, what we must do, how we can move forward. Help us grow. Help us walk the path of enlightenment. Give us the messages we need. Archangel Gabriel, bring your diamond of clarity through and clarify the messages. Archangel Michael, protect us. Archangel Raphael, heal through sound frequency. And Archangel Uriel, give me strength and give my viewers strength to not only stand in our power, but understand, accept, and act on the messages coming through today. So, that being said, without further ado, I'm just like hearing, you are beings of the tree of life. Honor life. Honoring life. I'm hearing honoring life. So let's have the Lotus, the Earthian Elfian Elemental, divine feminine of the Lotus, because she's singing honoring life, honoring life, honoring life. I'm wearing a symbol of the tree of life, actually. So we're honoring life, that's all I'm hearing. So let's let her have it come through in our safely stepped back Earthian Elfian Elemental, divine feminine energy of the Lotus flower. Please step forth. Hello, beautiful beings. May settle in. I'm a divine feminine, Earthian Elfian Elemental of the Lotus flower, a being of inspiration from the realm of inspiration, the Elfian Realm. I am a native amber of the flower of inspiration, and you are beautiful branches and leaves and fruits of the tree of life. You are life. So why do you take life? Human beings, bluntly and directly. And we're showing our communicators some visuals right now That it's a little bit difficult for her to process. The earth, the animals, in the sea, on land, and in the sky. What caused the fall of Atlantis? It was experimentation and playing God. It was being tempted with the potential to be in control of other things, and lying so you may create things that you can be in control of, to play God. There's one creator, one source of humanity, and one guardian of life, and one guardian angel of the earth. Biggest test is boundaries, because the boundaries of life are being violated. And that is the biggest thing preventing further ascension for the collective all on the path of enlightenment. I work with the lotus flower. And the lotus flower is a very powerful flower to have around if you want to further yourself on your ascension journey in the path of enlightenment, and if you are a healer or a channeler or a medium and you work to guide people on their ascension journey and you want to help with the unity of the collective on the path of enlightenment. Also, if you work with the animal kingdom. So it's time for you to see the truth, to speak the truth, to act from the truth of your soul, and to hear what's going on around you. There is a human thing: see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, and do no evil. You know what's very funny is the do no evil. It's kind of gotten silenced in the collective reality where it's only the see, speak, and hear that you all talk about. Not as much the do no evil. So why is this saying no longer a saying? It's because there is a lot of evil being done. Now there's a lot of evil being said. So now it's hear and see no evil. But that's blindness to the truth. Because you can see the actions being done. But if you're trying not to see it, well, then you won't. But you will feel it. If you're trying not to hear it, then you won't. But you will feel it. If you are trying not to speak it, then you won't. And others will notice. Because it is different than the sound frequency that is resonating, unfortunately, for the collective at this time. If you're trying to do no evil, others will see it. They might call you boring. Well, there is a big group of people who want to make a change. The true change is not being done due to fear of judgment. So why do you have a fear of judgment? Because, well, the first thing that caused the fall of the previous golden age was the lie and sneaking around that resulted in humans who were falling to temptation, doing evil acts. The third thing, so is the lying, sneaking around, the betrayal, then the action of falling and doing things that cause harm to other beings. And on the other side, we would wonder, well, why all of the beings who weren't doing those evil things, why did they fall as well? And that was the judgment. They were afraid of the actions that were being done. They started feeling fear because the collective path of enlightenment started falling. So even those who weren't doing the actions were feeling the shift in energy. So they started feeling afraid. So they started judging. And then jealousy came. Jealousy came when the earth kept falling, and those who already succumbed to the inner darkness were succeeding more as the earth was falling. And those who worked on the path of enlightenment were not succeeding. So they started feeling jealousy. Because why is it that those who are doing wrong are succeeding more than those who are doing right? And that caused them to fall as well. Their reaction to the action caused the fall. No one was innocent. And this is still being mirrored today. Then there were those who were angry. Those who were angry of the ones, what would be the proper human term? Those who were angry at the souls who sought enlightenment and took away the ability to create and play God. The ones who chose temptation realized, those who chose the evil, realized, well, we can have a little bit more fun. And those who sought enlightenment, they took away fun. That's what's tempting. It seems fun, but it's really not. And then those who sought enlightenment were angry at those who were tempted for falling. And there was anger, there was wrath. And there was greed and pride and gluttony and lust and sloth, spiritual sloth. The very last thing was that spiritual sloth. So that's the first thing you have to fight through is spiritual sloth. So get some lotus flowers around you, light some candles, get up, and stop being spiritually sloth. That is the first step. Have a lotus as a reminder. Is there a symbol, a representation, and an anchor for overcoming the first blockages that prevent you from your individual ascension journey on the path of enlightenment? So that's why you're all feeling a lot of things. Every human being is empathic in one way or another, where you're mentally empathic, emotionally empathic, where you might feel things physically empathic. Every human is empathic in one way or another. There are 5 body systems, and every human being is empathic in one of the 5 body systems or more. Mentally empathic is taking on thought patterns and ideas of other people. Emotionally empathic is taking on other people's emotions. Physically empathic is taking on other people's pain. Spiritually empathic is taking on other people's missions because they are not able to accomplish it, and you take on their pain, their spiritual sloth. Our communicator's soul is experiencing deja vu as this channeling is occurring in this moment, and she is saying this to us now, and we will keep speaking because there is an empathic ability where you take on someone else's spiritual sloth. You take on their soul's pain, their soul's baggage. That is one of the hardest empathic abilities to have because you take on someone else's soul karma. And then that becomes the empathic ability of the Akashic body system. Taking someone else's inner child plane and trying to process it for them, taking on somebody else's previous incarnation baggage. And you know who mainly has that Akashic body system empathic ability are those souls who come to break generational cycles, because they will take on the pain and suffering of the past of their ancestral lineage. And so you don't know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, why you feel so sad, why you feel so angry, why everything feels so heavy, why you're feeling things that aren't yours. It's because you are humans. You come from the same source. You feel each other's pain. And the animal kingdom are not necessarily beings of life from the tree of life, but they are facets of life. They feel your pain, and you feel theirs. So if you cut off their wings, you won't be able to fly. If you muzzle them, your truth will not be heard. If you cut their tails, you will not experience joy. If you prevent them from connecting with each other, then you will struggle in love. If you hurt them from pure cruelty, you will suffer similar fates of cruelty in other ways done unto you. Karma is more real than you could ever know for all beings. For all beings. There is a difference between being of a group soul that splits into multiple physical forms and an individual soul. There is a difference between surviving and conquering. To thrive. But your idea of thriving is not life. Mother Earth is in mourning, and so is Heavenly Father above. Because life is becoming artificial. And that is what the stagnancy and the lack of hope that you are feeling is. Because it's repeating. Why the earth couldn't sustain a collective enlightenment is repeating with fake life. And you are beings of life. So you're feeling the pain and watching fake life being created. And the animals are feeling it too. The plants are feeling it too. Nature is in mourning for what life once was. And to enlighten, you must choose to not allow artificial life to control your life. Because you are a being of life. It is your soul that is life. So it must be the life that you are following. Artificial life can take away the essence of creativity, passion, inspiration, motivation from the soul. It's creating spiritual sloth, which is blocking people from their ascension journeys. So what you must do is have compassion for all and help to pull your fellow human beings out of spiritual sloth, to remember the beauty of things that have been created when the soul was at the wheel. And the divine feminine and the divine masculine were balanced within to create with creativity. It is fighting this spiritual sloth and everything that comes after it. Every day is a test. But what you must do is choose to be in life. When we say you're a being of life and live, we're not just saying, okay, you're going through your spiritual journey and don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget that you came here to incarnate. Don't get lost in the soul. That's what it was at first. Now it's to remember to not get lost in artificial life. To live as a soul within a body living on the earth. to change the story, to live. Thank you. Wowzers. Thank you, beautiful being. There was a lot of image downloads. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Genuinely, the image that was playing on a loop for a while were sharks at the bottom of the ocean without their fins, just going in circles. Where turtles with smashed in heads and whales unable to speak were wolves watching their home become demolished, an artificial life taking its place. Were humans suffering. And the biggest visual was Angelic Mother Gaia at the core of the earth, crying. Because there's only so much the divine can do. I think what I was being shown was, in a lot of those instances, angels and higher beings not able to do anything because they cannot divine interfere, because it's our lesson. And watching humans just walk away, and there's almost nothing the divine can do to prevent or stop or fix it anymore. There's been too many divine interventions, and now the training wheels are off for us as humans, and we gotta do it ourselves. And it's honestly a little scary, right? Like, almost like divine interventions are stopping. Because we're at the point that we gotta learn ourselves. I feel like I look like I've seen a ghost, and I feel like I saw plenty. Because I saw also lots of visuals for my own life. I also saw and felt the moving and the calling attention to the different empathicness, and exactly how spiritual sloth is happening with artificial intelligence. Like, technology in itself can aid us, but right now it's like taking over. And there's a big difference between a tool and a crutch. I've definitely been learning that. I've been learning that my whole life, growing up, like, as technology was developing, so I had the time where I didn't have it as much, and then, like, we were always the guinea pig class, like, oh, we want to test this new thing for the future. You're just the age that we were, the class that we were, that when new things were being created, they were testing it on us. Being in that group, yeah, I saw it happen, and I saw that visual of it's like this spiritual sloth is being created because it's overcoming that allows us to reach new levels. And even those of us, myself included, who have gone through different healings and gone through different levels in our ascension journey, we are also experiencing that test of overcoming the spiritual sloth. And we have to remember our why, our reason. We have to remember that plants and the animals also have their reason and their why, and we have to respect the rhythm. I also saw that there is, like, an empathic ability of those who feel very heavily empathicness for the earth and for the animals that wasn't touched on as much. And since I started doing work, energy work, I've always had protections to protect my empathic ability from people and animals from taking it on from both. And lately, I have definitely forgotten to have my protections up with that, and I think it's because I had to feel a lot of those things to be able to understand the weight of the channeling. Some of those visuals I cannot get out of my head. It's not in a bad way, in a clarity way. It's like, this is what's going on. We have to remember. So it's time to break the metaphors. And speaking of, I conclude this video, I started another channel where I am breaking into the metaphors and the myths, because one of the first things that I was told when I started doing channeling is that those before us left a lot of messages hidden in metaphors in the myths, and a lot of myths are metaphors and hold a lot of spiritual metaphors within them, but because as a collective at that time, we were not ready to hear things as directly. And when I started channeling, it's like, time for metaphors is done. We're just going to speak directly and like clearing the air. So, and I always had a fascination with trying to understand the meaning within myths. So I started a channel, Ancient Awakening with Kastalia, that I will link to the end of this video. So you can check out that channel. I believe by this point, I should have a video, maybe 2 already up, where I am breaking into some myths and breaking into the spiritual metaphors of it and trying to understand what messages were left from the past. Well, I'm channeling messages for the future here to really help bridge the gap and help us understand a little bit more. And now it is, the sun is setting and it is getting a little bit dark, so it is time for me to go and connect with the divine feminine energy and tap into that project so I can make more videos for that. And I'll see you in the next channeling. I'm not quite sure what the next channeling is. I know that there are some elements with the animal kingdom, with members of the animal kingdom work with some elements. And the colors as well, what each color represents, diving into the power of each color. Those are the types of videos that should be coming out throughout the end of the year. I don't know which one's next, but stay tuned for those. I appreciate all your support as always, and let us break through the spiritual sloth together. I hope this can inspire you to do so. It has inspired me to ensure that I am doing so. Let's hold each other accountable for it and walk this path of enlightenment together, sending you love, light, and inspiration. Stay inspired, beautiful beings. Wishing you many blessings on this 999 portal. Goodbye for now.